Okay. So here we are. I think we're live finally. So, yeah, gonna wait for some possible viewers to start joining in. We have about 500 subscribers here, so we're bound to have somebody, maybe one or two people, click on the video here. Yeah. So for whoever is watching, welcome to the first ever Tobias podcast here. Yeah, we're gonna be going over everything that has to relate to like The Walking Dead season 11. World Beyond's finale coming out this weekend, at least on AMC Plus, and I'm just gonna have a bit of a discussion here, just chill out and talk, go over everything, and I'm gonna talk about my thoughts about World Beyond as a series so far, at least before my actual review that'll be coming out after the finale does air. And once it does, you guys will know exactly how I feel about it, and it all depends on what exactly they decide to do in that final episode, because I feel like the entire show is sitting on that one topic right now, is what exactly is the whole point of the thing in general. So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. And for anyone who is here, definitely shout yourself out in the chat. I'd like to get some viewers in here and actually talk to you guys a bit more live here for once, instead of just talking in the comments on the videos. So yeah, looks like we got one concurrent viewer right now, so whoever you are, shout yourself out if you're listening. I also have a couple of tweets here I wanted to go over, and it has to relate to the final 5 minutes and a post-credit scene. That's the first one. And on top of that, we have some Rick movie news, so that's something else we're going to talk about today. Yeah. No Rick, we riot. Definitely a fact, Justin. I completely agree. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, no. If there's no Rick, or at least any Rick Grimes news in that episode, we're going to have an issue with World Beyond. At least I am. I don't know. I don't know who has enjoyed the show. I mean, there's definitely some people who definitely have, but I'm not one of them. I'm literally here for the Rick Grimes news, and that's about it. And, we've gotten little tidbits of information here throughout. Jadis has mentioned him a little bit, called him an asset, I guess, to the CRM. We have no idea how. I mean, nothing's really been told to us or shown to us at all. So hopefully whatever that whole tweet is about that final 5 minutes and that post-credit scene ends up being something actually important to what, Rick is doing and what the whole future of the universe is in general. Because, I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one who feels it here, but it seems like the whole thing is just kind of getting a little bit drawn out over time. Like, we've been waiting 3 years for the movies, and we've had World Beyond go on for 2 seasons now, and it feels like we haven't made any progress whatsoever. And obviously there was a pandemic and stuff like that, so, filming has been kind of slowed down over time. But I mean, look at every other thing there is out there. Marvel's kicking out shows left and right. You got movies coming out. Spider-Man No Way Home's coming out still. So if we're not getting any movie news in general, it just sucks. But, yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I think you just posted that. Yeah, Jadis is definitely carrying the show for sure. If it wasn't for her, I feel like the last 3 or 4 episodes of World Beyond would be absolutely pointless. She's the only thing that makes it enjoyable, obviously because she kind of relates to Rick, and she's just a good character. You can tell she's a much better actress than any of the other main characters on the show. And I'm not trying to crap on everybody who's on there, but I don't know. It's just hard to get into any of their storylines and actually care about those characters, especially when we don't really know them that well, and they didn't really do very well to establish them. I just feel like they were very miscast, just not very enjoyable actors and actresses, except for a select few. Elizabeth Kublek would definitely be one of them. Yeah, she's one that definitely keeps the show going, at least through season 1. Whenever we saw her, it seemed like it was pretty serious, and we had something to actually, talk about, because, it was some real CRM stuff. And back in season 1, there was barely any of that, except for the little post-credit scenes that we would get. And it was all about the main characters. And with a full season of getting to know them, I still just couldn't watch. It was just awful. So I caught up on a lot of the episodes afterwards and would just watch reviews and stuff like that, because it was just unbearable to watch after a while. But I don't know. Season 2 turned that around a little bit, but still not enough. I feel like there should have been a lot more to this show. You know, it was definitely meant to set up the movies, at least that's what we thought. And it seems like we just got this kind of random story that, you know, somewhat related to the CRM, obviously, and nothing that actually has to do with the movies or is going to really set anything up. But hopefully the last episode proves me wrong. If it does, I'll give it a very good review. And I actually haven't seen Rogue One, to be honest with you. So if you want to elaborate about what you're talking about in the comments, let me know. But yeah, no, I think I was actually going to make a review saying that I hope that all the characters end up sacrificing themselves at the end. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, there you go. You just said everyone dies. I hope they all do, to be honest with you. I hope that they all end up getting at least something done. Like, you know, they sacrifice themselves to stop whatever big plan that they know the CRM has going on. But obviously, the CRM's such a big organization that it's not going to fully affect them. So, you know, at least they'll make a little bit of an impact, so it makes the show somewhat, you know, important. Because if not, there was literally no point to watch World Beyond. And from there, it could set up, you know, a whole thing that could relate to the movies in that way, if that makes any sense. Maybe it's the reason why Rick ends up starting to revolt against them and stuff like that. So, who knows? We'll have to find out. We've had a few viewers in and out of here, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you, definitely, Justin Thomas, for sticking to the live stream here. I appreciate that. It's one of my first ones, actually my very first one. So, just getting into the whole swing of things here, talking to myself for this long definitely starts to get a little weird after a while. So, yeah, definitely something I want to get into a lot more. I've been trying to play some different types of games and stuff like that, and I want to start streaming like zombie games like State of Decay and stuff on here. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Message me on Discord, because if you want, I can actually get you on here. I was actually looking to talk to you tonight. I did message you, so hop on here. We can talk about some Walking Dead stuff and bounce off each other on here if you want. If you're not, though, if you're not able to, that's totally fine. But, yeah, hang on. Actually, I'll message you right now. I think you'd message me. No, it wasn't you. My bad. But yeah, like I said, I want to play some different types of games and stuff, and just kind of branch out a little bit more from just Walking Dead content, and I feel like the live streams can be a bit of a way to do that. So, awesome. Yeah, I'll see you on Discord in a second. Just call me, and I'll add you in here. But, I guess one thing we can do right now is actually go over this first tweet that we have. Hang on, let me get it on the screen here. Okay, there we go. So, hopefully you guys can see this. I'm not sure if it's coming through correctly, or if it's like, it looks to be a little bit bad quality, which I apologize. That looks better. Okay. So, this tweet here is from Cameron Bonomolo. He's from comicbook.com, and he states, "The Walking Dead World Beyond ends with guts and goodbyes in The Last Light," which is the episode title. The series finale, which is out November 28th on AMC Plus and December 5th on AMC, is a heartfelt farewell to the Endlings, which, I don't know if I missed something. I've never heard them be like called that before. I don't know. But with a surprising final 5 minutes and a must-see post-credits epilogue tying into the future of the Walking Dead universe. So that's a bit exciting. So I don't know what they're talking about with the final 5 minutes, though. I don't know if the final 5 minutes ties into just the story on World Beyond and then the epilogue ties into the Walking Dead universe. That's probably what it's going to be. So maybe it's what we were talking about just a minute ago, with the final 5 minutes could be that big sacrifice. And that could, you know, launch this whole crazy thing that's going to happen. And then the epilogue after the credits could kind of tie into what's happening now in the movies because of what happened on the show. Or it could be something a little bit different, and we could just see like a returning character, somebody like Keith, or maybe we'll catch up with Michonne in like a quick scene and just see where she's been at. Maybe, I've been seeing this a bit on like Twitter and stuff. Maybe Jadis ends up finding out that Michonne's out there looking for Rick. That could be something. But, yeah. So, Just going to bring myself back to the main focus here. All right. All right, I'm going to add Brian here to the call. He's another Walking Dead YouTuber. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, definitely I'll put his link down here in the description. We're going to talk a bit about some of probably World Beyond and Walking Dead Season 11 and stuff like that. So, happy holidays to Just Nay's Way. Thanks for the comment. And you said that you think they all die. Yeah, I definitely agree. Maybe not all of them, but at least a select few. All right, hopefully the sound audio comes through here correctly. Because so far I can't hear Discord. Let me see. Oh, hold on 1 second, man. There we go. All right, I think we're good. You're going to be coming through the headphones now.
Hey, Tobias.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you?
Really good. I just came from my cousin's house. We had a family reunion, Thanksgiving.
Nice.
What was your Thanksgiving?
I was about the same, hung out with some family today, ate some good food, stuff like that. I hope everyone's had a great Thanksgiving if you do celebrate it here in the States. It's always a good day, and, I had some free time afterwards, so I figured I'd get on and stream and just chill with everybody who's not doing anything, so, yeah.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me, because, yeah, I saw your stream going on, and I was going to participate in the chat, and then when I heard that you were thinking about inviting me, I just wanted to go on Discord and let you know that I was free, because I know, like, with streams like this, obviously, sometimes, yeah, talking to yourself, it definitely gets, quiet and, something to get used to, but having another person definitely helps.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I appreciate you hopping on, man. Oh yeah, and I guess they did refer to themselves as the Endlings in season 1 when they were in the treehouse. So that's something I forgot about. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta admit, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes of World Beyond. What did you think of them?
Episode 8 and 9. Very good episodes, I will say, of World Beyond Season 2. Like, World Beyond Season 2 has honestly just been killing it as far as, the writing has been very consistent, I would say. And, like, the characters, obviously excluding, I would say, Iris, the characters have, really started to grow more on the audience. And there's definitely been a lot more action and stuff. I was definitely worried we were going to get, like, teen drama, kind of like how it was in season 1 with Hope in the university, but I'm so glad they didn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was a bit worried about that at the beginning of the season. Obviously, because she was meeting all these new people in class and stuff, and I'm like, oh, geez, is this what this is going to be all season? It's going to be about her meeting all these new classmates and stuff. But yeah, they didn't go that direction. No, they definitely stepped up a lot from season 1. They started to go more into the lore of the CRM and just talking about what Jadis has been up to and stuff. It was awesome to catch up with her so far. Obviously I have to watch the last 2 episodes to really understand what she's been up to a bit more, but just having her on the show made it a bit more bearable to watch, I'd say.
It definitely did. And you could see how the actors are, like, a great actor, like, or actress like Pollyann McIntosh with more, like, not less experience, actors, like for Silas and the other actors. It definitely helps, help you invest more in the scene because, the kid actors, I will say, will be on. They're not the strongest, but I will say that it is, really cool to see, an old Walking Dead character meeting these newer characters, and yeah. So you saw episode 7, right? I don't think you did a review on it. What did you think of episode 7?
That was the one where they're trying to get the green vial back, isn't it?
Yeah, the Lila one.
Yeah, that one was good. I don't know what it's been, the reason why I haven't actually watched the last 2 episodes. There's always been something going on whenever I'm about to watch it. But no, it definitely wasn't bad at all. There's nothing really wrong with the episodes that I've been watching. It's just the whole show in general is what kind of I had an issue with. Just like the whole aspect of what's the reason why we're watching this at the end of the day. So obviously right now it's finding out. Well, honestly, I can't really tell you. I haven't really seen the last 2 episodes, but I feel like the whole story right now as wrapping up this whole, like, what are the kids going to do to stop the CRM from, I think they were trying to take down Portland next, is the whole issue right now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We know that the CRM, Percy told the group about how, the CRM doesn't want an alliance, that they want to maybe wipe out their competition. And we kind of see this how the CRM have always said we are the last light of the world. And I actually did a video on it on my channel. It was like maybe 15 minutes talking about almost everything about the CRM, like how the CRM don't want, like they don't say they're the last light of the world because they are. They say it because they want to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And exactly. And my goodness, like this makes them a huge threat in the world of The Walking Dead because no community is safe. Like Alexandria, Commonwealth, every community is in danger.
That's true. I remember before we were talking about if the Commonwealth knows of the CRM yet. What do you think of that, like, as of now?
I mean, you heard about that thing with Gimple, right? How it kind of slipped up.
Yes, I did
Oh,
hear about that. So he kind of confirmed it anyways, that they do. And
is that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
apparently we're supposed to go into that a bit more in the rest of season 11, talking about, or at least in season 11B, I guess, he kind of mentioned that there's going to be a bit more CRM information coming up. And I don't think he really went into detail, but like you said, he kind of slipped up about it. So,
Yeah. The thing is, the Commonwealth is not part of the Alliance, like as we see in World Beyond. So that is a question I do have. Like, why are they not part of the Alliance as well? And the thing is also, so right now, like World Beyond is still like about a year behind compared to the Walking Dead main show timeline. Like season 11 is like a year ahead of World Beyond. So I'm definitely curious to see how they're gonna make sense of this. You know what I mean? Because like the CRM is doing all this stuff, and then we're gonna see them maybe like a year later in the main show. I would say. I don't know. I always had this idea that this CRM maybe they do some deals with Pamela Milton, kind of like how they did it with Indira in her community. You know what I mean? How she had that secret deal for medicine. I
hmm
think maybe I had this idea. Like imagine the characters in The Walking Dead, like Daryl, Rosita, Gabriel. Imagine they start finding the CRM symbols, and they find out that Pamela has been, trading with them in secret for technology, supplies, anything like that. But she wants them to keep it secret from everyone else. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like they might do some shady stuff with the Commonwealth.
that's a very good theory. That would definitely be a good way they could go into kind of explaining why Pamela is like a dirty politician. She's making these secret deals behind the scenes, and that's a perfect way to tie it into the CRM and also make the story on The Walking Dead. Since it is more of a closed-in story by itself at the moment, it could kind of expand upon that and keep the story moving forward and explain exactly what's going on with Pamela so that, obviously our characters are going to have an issue with this stuff, especially once they find out what type of organization the CRM really is. And oh, we all know once they do, like people like Daryl, oh man, it's going to be quite the scene, that's for sure. And I mean, I think it's almost confirmed at this point that Alexandria is going to be joining the Commonwealth. So once they do, everything that Pamela does has a direct, you know, consequence on Alexandria. So they're not going to want her doing any of this type of shady stuff like that because it affects them directly.
Yeah, and not just that, but anything like information about them is dangerous to give to the CRM. I mean, that would be crazy too. Like, imagine if, obviously this is more the Rick movies, but like if, imagine if Rick hears about a new branch of the Commonwealth and it's like Alexandria. Imagine he hears something like that, and because like we know he's with the CRM, imagine how scared Rick would be to find out. Like he probably knows that they wipe out communities, and finding out that Alexandria is one of the places that joined the Commonwealth, he might be terrified that his family is next. I mean, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that's true. And it explains a lot as to why he hasn't revealed himself yet if he's not locked up, and he's like kind of free to roam around the CRM. It explains why he wouldn't go right home and tell them about, where he's been. And he's worried for their safety, and he knows that if the CRM knows about them, or at least knows that he went to see them, that they will definitely take them down for sure. And to answer Just Nay's way, yeah, no, I'm not trying to completely crap on the cast here. Obviously, the Parent Show definitely set a bar. You had legit actors and actresses on there that really, they were top level. They're the A team, and I guess you could consider World Beyond a bit of the B team or the C team if you want Fear in the middle of that. But yeah, no, I mean in general, in season one, I guess it was cool, like you said, to see another part of the world like that, and to see how those people were impacted differently than people like Rick and Negan and stuff like that out in the real world, and they were just kind of sheltered inside of this community. So obviously they were raised differently, and having to see them go out there like that, kill their first walkers like that for the first time, in that aspect, yes, it actually was interesting to see how those type of people would react out there in that environment. And how much they've changed overall, once you get to season 2 and they've been through all that already. And yeah, so when it comes to all that stuff, it's all been pretty interesting. And then adding Jadis into the mix of that, and they have to deal with her, people like her and stuff like that now, it makes the show much more interesting than it already was. So yeah.
Do you think that Jadis is too far gone?
I don't know
That she
yet. I guess it's hard to say because I don't know if she's just completely drank the Kool-Aid when it comes to the CRM yet. I mean, she definitely could have. You can tell she's not exactly in the ranks of the military. She's more of like a, what did she describe herself as? It was kind of like an officer, like a security officer
warrant
almost.
officer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
warrant officer is what
warrant
it was.
officer. Yeah, she said that her job is to like to sniff out corruption, traitors, any moments of like possible doubt or just anything that might be going on behind the scenes. And this is what I'm wondering how many villains they might have in the movies, because we have Elizabeth, Jadis, and then like come on, General Beale, Major General Beale has to be the big villain in the Rick movies.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm just thinking like, okay, wow, so that's gonna be like three villains in the Rick movies. Is that too many? Like, or is
I
that
wouldn't say so. No, no, I wouldn't say it's too many villains because they're all part of the same organization. They probably all have the same end game at the end of the day. So it all depends. I guess you could say with Jadis, does she have the same goals that people like General Beale would have? I guess that's up for consideration. I don't think she would. I don't know. Like I said, not seeing the last 2 episodes kind of makes my whole opinion on this not fully, I guess, correct. I don't know. But from what you've seen, do you think that she agrees with what they've been doing, like taking down Omaha and stuff like that?
I mean, I saw episode 8 and 9. Obviously, I don't want to spoil anything or give it away.
Honestly, feel
Just like,
free. No, you can totally talk about everything.
um, you're absolutely sure, man?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, After seeing episode 8 and then 9, I think Jadis is 100%. She has drank the Kool-Aid and there's no going back for her. There's several things that happen in those 2 episodes that I'm just thinking like there's no uh you know bringing back this character to how she was. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It just seems like she is 100% dedicated to this cause, and that's just scary. You know what I mean? Like this Walking Dead character from the past just is part of this evil organization, and she is just willing to. There's no line that she is not willing to cross. I will say that about episode 8 and 9. There's no line she won't cross, and that's just scary.
Well, that's good to know. That's definitely going to be interesting to watch. I'm probably going to go watch that right after the stream now, so at least I'm caught up with what I'm talking about. Um, so when it comes to all that, I was talking a little bit earlier in the stream about exactly how the show is going to end off, and so when it comes to that final five, did you hear about that before I talked about it, like the final 5 minutes and then the post-credit scene and stuff like that?
Yeah, I heard that. Absolutely. I honestly don't really know. I'm so uh, confused because I heard them say like, oh, it might tie into Fear. Some people said it might tie into Fear, which doesn't make sense because it's Fear is 6 years behind timeline wise. Like, and it should tie to the main show because it's only a year behind. Um, but as far as like the ending, I don't think all the characters are gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like because if they warn Portland about the CRM, then there's no hope for the Commonwealth in Alexandria. Like, um, Portland has 87,000 people. Commonwealth has 50,000. We know the CRM have their total city is 200,000. So, 137,000. That would definitely help give them a chance. Against the 200,000 of the CRM. So,
That is
you know what I mean?
true.
Population. Because yeah, if they lose Portland, then there's just no way the Commonwealth can beat the CRM.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's why I feel like that's probably how World Beyond is going to end off, is they're going to foil that plan that they probably have to take down Portland. And that's awesome. I think that definitely establishes these characters a bit more, and it makes World Beyond at least worth watching. Like I said earlier, we definitely need some type of ending like that. And then I feel like afterwards we can get to the a little bit of the aftermath of what they did, and we'll see what the whole like deal is from now on with the CRM, what they're going to do next, and maybe how that relates to what Rick is doing at the moment, whether he's locked up, which I don't think he is, but whether he's going to make his big move, if that's his whole plan next, or maybe we're going to see a returning character, like I said, and we could see somebody like Michonne still looking for him, and maybe Jadis finally comes across her or just knows that she's out there looking. So, or maybe like people are saying online, or it ties into Fear, maybe we see somebody like Althea or something like that. So, which would be the most boring ending to a show I've ever seen in my life. So, hopefully that's not the case.
I totally agree. I don't have a problem with seeing Althea again. Just it would feel out of place if it was her because she literally left Fear not long ago, the actress, um, and then it's somehow been 6 years later, and then she's in this new show. Like people who watch World Beyond are not gonna know who Althea is, and yeah, I'm really not sure how it's gonna end like that. Um, I always wanted, I always wanted World Beyond to end with like a Rick voiceover, like we hear Rick's voice on the radio.
That's a good idea.
Obviously, like that would be cool and they can do it because Andrew Lincoln wouldn't need to come on set or anything. They just need to have him record some lines.
Right,
So
and that is true. Which actually, that kind of relates to the next tweet I'm going to go over from the whole um, Rick. Oh, sorry, I'm like first time streaming. I have to get better with my train of thought here. But in terms of like the whole Rick movie situation and why he hasn't started filming yet, because he was supposed to back earlier this summer, and I believe there was still restrictions not allowing him to come over from the UK to start filming here. So if he is on the end of World Beyond as just a voiceover, yeah, that would make total sense as to why we aren't actually seeing him yet, and why he hadn't actually recorded any scenes or anything for the movies yet. Which I am actually going to go over this tweet now, just so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So let me get it up here on the screen. All right. Yeah, so potential Rick movie news. This is from the Walking Dead promos and videos. So if you guys don't know about them, go follow them on Twitter. I heard several rumors from in and around Sonoya, which is in Georgia, this week that there was some chatter from the crew going around that the first Rick Grimes movie will begin filming in early 2022 for 3 months. A few people listening in on certain crew members said they heard mentions of Andy coming back for RG1, which would make sense for Rick Grimes movie number 1. This makes sense as the U.S. just lifted the travel ban for U.S. British borders last week, which I had no idea there was still a travel ban from there. I'm gonna have to, maybe do a little fact check on that and make sure that's the case, but it probably is. Which is why Andrew Lincoln was not allowed to start filming this year as planned. This could line up with The Walking Dead filming their final episodes, as they also wrap shooting the final season in early 2022. So maybe he comes back for a couple final scenes in The Walking Dead as well. Maybe we see him in the future at some point, or just a little teaser for the movies or something like that. So, what are your whole thoughts on that?
Uh, great question. Well, first off, I did not even, in a way, know about that. Like, okay, so I'm weird because like Andrew Lincoln got the film in Canada. He got the film Penguin Bloom or something like that, right? Like, he
That
got
is
a film.
true.
So Was Canada's restrictions less than the U.S.'s?
I highly doubt that. I've heard that theirs have actually been a bit more hardcore than the United States, so that doesn't make much sense. You know what? Wait, I mean, we got time. I'm going to do the Google search right now. I'll find out.
I, I could be wrong, but I heard that Scott Gimple did not want to start filming until the main show was over, like
That
or pre-production, like anything like that. I heard that. Like there's a few YouTubers have done videos on that.
that could be the case too. I mean, maybe it's because some of the people from the show are going to, like, at least main characters are going to be in the movie. So maybe they wanted to take some time to let the show finish up so we could get those actors and actresses to come over to the movies afterwards.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. A lot of people have been saying Rick will be missing, so I wonder if that like will be like an end credit scene or like one of the final scenes of World Beyond. Because like yeah, for Rick, you mentioned something about prisoner. I don't think Rick is a prisoner because it wouldn't make sense for the CRM to keep a prisoner for 6 years. Like they would kind of decide like, okay, he's not useful anymore, or he's not useful at all. And plus, we know Jadis said that indirectly. She said that Rick was valuable. She said that she gave the CRM something valuable. That's how she got in. And um, I don't. So like Jadis is a warrant officer, and I don't know why, but I just love the idea of Rick being you know what I mean, he's not for the CRM. He doesn't buy into the Kool-Aid, but I like the idea of like maybe Rick is like a captain or a field officer, and you know he has his own group with the CRM, like kind of his own Daryl, his own Rosita, like Michonne, not Michonne, like romance, but like you know a female in his group who like his close friends with, you know what I mean? But obviously his main family, the real family, he misses them, you know, more. But I just like the idea of, you know, Rick has gotten to know these characters, but obviously he will have to, you know, betray them at some point because what they're doing is wrong. In like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. He wants to make himself fit into the situation because he has no way out of it. So he would, get himself a new group to kind of, be friends with and get close with in there. But at the end of the day, we know that if it came down to it, he would let those people go in a heartbeat if it came to going back to Alexandria and really going home and seeing the people he really cares about. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely likely that Rick has probably some bit of a rank in the CRM, or at least is valuable to them in some way because of what Jada said. So, he has to be doing something important. And I think that has to do with his leadership skills. So, he has to be in the military because besides that, what is Rick valuable for? I mean, he's a good person and he's a good leader, and we know that. So I feel like that's the only route they can really go down, unless he's somehow like the cure. You know what I mean? Like that's always been like a theory out there, but no, I don't see that happening. But
Yeah, I totally agree. Rick cannot be the cure, for several reasons. One, we know that Carl died from, he was, bitten, he was getting sick, dying. So
exactly,
that's a bit of an issue. And not just that, but if Rick is the cure, then why is the CRM, why do they still have the research facility? If Rick is the
true.
cure?
Oh,
It just
hey,
doesn't make sense.
or or Carl was also Shane's kid, just like Judith.
Uh, oh man. Uh, Like like Lori has been dead for years, and then all of a sudden we're just gonna be like, oh, everyone, let's go back to hating Lori.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, no, but like you said, they wouldn't have the whole research facility or anything. But no, it's just funny that people would. Yeah, exactly. Why did Carl die? I completely agree. Lizard, thank you for commenting. Um, so I gotta think of what the next topic here can be because I feel like it all kind of relates, which is cool. I want season 11 and then the end of World Beyond and the movies to kind of all relate to each other, and I feel like that's what they're probably going to do. So I guess it all depends on what comes next in 11B and what we're going to see from the CRM then, if they are in it, and how they're going to relate to the Commonwealth. So here's a good question. How do you think they're going to bring back Michonne? Because she's kind of a wild card out there right now.
Absolutely, she is. Great question. Um, I feel like Michonne is not going to return in the show. I feel like after the first Rick movie, we're gonna see what Rick has been doing for 6 years, and then it's we're gonna have the whole World Beyond thing, and in season two, and then in movie two, we're gonna get Elizabeth or someone saying like, "Hey, this happened to the research facility." Like she's gonna reference everything that happened in season two, and then she's gonna say like, "Okay, we have new mission, new objectives, all this stuff," and then I think we're gonna have a scene where Michonne is with those people that she found, and somehow I feel like Michonne needs to come across the Fear Group or the World Beyond characters, and uh, just find out that where the CRM is. You know what I mean? Where their main city is, and I mean like obviously it's not been confirmed, but I believe I would bet that the CRM is in Philadelphia, and that Michonne and them might start going towards there to hopefully find Rick. Like you know what I mean? I could see Michonne wanting to build allies to get enough people to get back Rick. You know what I mean? Because the World Beyond characters, I mean, they might tell her like, "Hey, listen, this is a big group. You know, it's not going to be easy to get back your husband. Like, this is not going to be easy."
True, yeah. I mean, she's not going up against just some other, regular Walking Dead community that we used to always see in the old seasons. She's going up against literally the biggest group probably in the Walking Dead universe, unless there's some other crazy one out there we don't know about yet. And man, when it comes to that, I mean, they got a lot to do, and I think that it's all going to finally start picking up in this next year or two right now, and we're going to finally see what's really happening and what the whole end game is going to be. And it's going to be good to finally get into all that. I feel like we've all been waiting so long to get some legit information, and that's why World Beyond was kind of a thing. I think it was just to hold us over with some CRM stuff in the meantime and kind of just let us understand what their whole motives are in general. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess when it comes to that, there was a reason to watch World Beyond, so I kind of proved myself wrong with that one. But
Well, I mean, you can't blame yourself. Season one was like, why does this show exist? That's justified to ask that, because yeah, like season one was like, what? No, but yeah, like season two is just so good, and like if like for topics, like we could either like, do you want to talk about episode seven, or what we would like to see in the Rick movies? Like if we had to make predictions for like all three movies.
I'm down for some predictions. I mean, do you still think there's even going to be three movies after all this time? That's a good question.
Um, I I don't. I think there's definitely going to be one, but second and third movie, I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? Like second movie, it really depends on the first, how well they pull it off, because I heard they are going to start filming in Georgia, next year for the Rick movie. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute, shouldn't they be filming in, like Philadelphia or something like that? Like, where the CRM are, cuz like I want to see a city, you know what I mean? I don't want to see
CGI.
yeah, CGI stuff, or I don't want to see the Woodbury Tower in the background.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, or what I mean, the water tower. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see amazing visuals in the Rick movies, like a giant waterfall, like cityscape, like a giant city. You know what I mean? Just great visuals. You know what I mean? Because with The Walking Dead, we unfortunately don't get that because of the budget.
Yeah, but that's the one thing that unfortunately lacked. Season one definitely had that, obviously, because it was the first season. They had, they used most of their budget on, I feel like, those first few episodes in Atlanta. So that was pretty cool. But since then, we haven't got much besides woods, random towns, and just stuff like that. So the movies obviously have to up the scale, and they need to make things. They need to show us, like, I feel like, the whole world, from a different point of view from what we've always seen, and hopefully it lives up to that. To answer some comments here, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Hang on one second. I'm trying to read this one. So I think Michonne needs to run into the Fear Group and find Plan Padre and learn what the CRM's plan actually is. That's a good one. I like that. In World Beyond, we heard Huck talk about a resistance, and it's theorized that Rick is running it. Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. And then who will kill Huck? I don't know. Let's see. Jadis or Elizabeth? Who do you think, man?
Um, as evil as Elizabeth has been, I don't see her uh killing her own daughter. I just don't.
Not me neither.
Um, so I will say Jadis if I had to pick one of them, but I don't know if Jadis is gonna make it out of season two either. You know what I
Hmm,
mean? Like
that is possible.
it's like World Beyond. They didn't kill off the main villain in season one. They didn't kill off the. I mean, okay, sorry. Uh, I feel like they have to kill a villain in World Beyond, like in 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, there
And
has to be some bigger death than what we've gotten so far.
uh, um, and okay, I had a question. Like, um, for the World Beyond characters, like in episode 7, you know what I mean? Like certain characters, like Jadis is obviously amazing. Like as far as a character, the actress is amazing. Huck pretty good. Who else? Like yeah, there's Silas and Dennis. Not bad. Hope's pretty good. Lila is pretty good as a character and actress. But should we address the elephant in the room? I'm sorry, but Iris, like,
Everyone's saying
um,
it, man. Yeah, no, everyone I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that. No, Iris is not a very liked character right now, and it's unfortunate. I don't want to completely rag on her, but it's just her whole storyline's just been mostly cringe.
yeah, it's. I mean, I get it. She wants revenge or justice for the people of Omaha. Like 100,000 lives. I completely understand that. But the way the actress does, I don't know, her lines, I'm just thinking, like,
It
I
might
have
just be the
doubts.
way it's written. That's for sure. I don't know if it would be more about the script or about the actress. I guess it. I'm not too sure, honestly.
Yeah. Um, I totally agree. You can keep reading the chat if you want. Oh yeah, for Padre. I don't know if Padre is part of the CRM. I don't know, but as far as like the CRM's plan, like we know what the CRM's plan is. You know, I mean, it's global. You know, genocide. Like they want to destroy every community out there. You know what I mean? And it's yeah, that's their main objective. Also to find a cure, obviously too. But what's crazy is that even as they explain this episode, all the deaths, all the pain, lies, murder, the CRM is not even close to finding a cure. They couldn't even make a vial that keeps someone from turning for 8 hours. And like, I mean, like, think about it. When Amy died back in season one of the main show, she was dead for like many hours, like maybe close to 8. You know what I mean? Because it went from night to morning.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
so the fact that the CRM have done all this and they still no progress whatsoever, it's sad, but like everyone died for nothing. Like this finding a cure thing, it's all for nothing. Like I don't think it's possible,
Yeah, I,
sadly.
I mean, I feel like um, exploring that as a storyline has been pretty cool to watch, but just the fact that they've still not found any way around this at all shows that it might just be a lost cause at the end of the day. And maybe the actual movies, if there is more than one, can get a little bit more into that actual storyline, and maybe we'll see some actual progress then. But I feel like if the CRM is going to be taken down, they're not going to get a whole lot done because they're going to have too much trouble dealing with people like Rick stopping, all their plans that are going on. So I feel like Rick's going to have to choose maybe between saving the people he cares about directly or letting the CRM do the terrible things they're doing in order to get to a cure for the whole world. So I feel like he's going to have that moral, like, question inside, like, am I doing the right thing? And he is doing the right thing. I mean, I feel like that's a known fact at that point, but at least there's that question as to, like, is it worth, if he didn't care, like, so directly about the people, like, in Alexandria and stuff like that, would he make a different decision?
I definitely think that the people of Alexandria, I mean, Michonne and his, daughter Judith, like he doesn't know about RJ, but I will say that it really depends on how it's one of those things where it's like, is it really worth this much death? Like, there is no way Rick would sacrifice his family for the chance for a cure for the human race from the Walker virus. I don't see him um, willing to make. I don't at all see him willing to make that choice. You know what I mean? He would just be totally against it. The death of Michonne and Judith would not help the human race at all.
No.
So he would totally be against it. And as far as if they didn't exist and Rick had that, I'm not really sure. Like, because like Rick has that, like Michonne and Judith are his anchor to not go full CRM like Jadis is. You know what I mean? He has something to go back to. He has, like, you know, uh, the future that Jadis is trying to build. That's not Rick's future. His
No.
future is with Michonne and Judith.
Right.
So
He was already trying to build his future before. I mean, I guess you can argue if she stole Rick or if she saved him. I feel like she kind of stole him. I mean, she definitely saved his life by taking him on the helicopter, but she could have brought him back if she wasn't trying to steal him. And, he would have had that life that he really wanted. I feel like he would have been there and made a big difference in something like the Whisperer arc and everything that they had to go through ever since he left. So, it just stinks that he never got that opportunity. And it just, to see how he would react now after everything is, it's pretty interesting.
yeah, it's sad because so many characters have died. Like people like Sadiq and people he knew at Alexandria, and not just that, but he missed 6, 7 years of his daughter's life,
Right.
and everything with RJ. You know what I mean? Doesn't even know he exists. Like CRM literally took, that away from him. And as far as like Jay, it's like yeah, she saved him, but they've never brought. Some people think that Rick talked to Jadis about them leaving, but Jadis threatened to tell him about Alexandra if he ever, tried to convince her to go with him, or maybe she said like, listen, like they like both of us. If you try to leave, or if you leave, then I'm not gonna look as good, and I'll tell him about Alexandria. Like, do you think that could have happened? Like, that's why Rick never left. Like, Jadis turned full CRM, and she's like, listen, you try to go back, and they will kill me next because I'm responsible for you, and like she threatened him, and Alexandria. Like, I wonder if that's gonna happen.
That's a definitely a good theory. Yeah, no, I could definitely see her doing that, especially after what you're telling me with the whole fact that you think she's too far gone at this point. Yeah, I actually like that they took her character that way because she was always kind of like like a bit of a wild card, especially back in season 7 and 8 on The Walking Dead. She would just betray whoever. She would do anything to at least stay with the winning team, which is what one of the comments were here earlier in the chat. And now she's doing that as well with CRM. She knows that they're the winning team right now, or so she thinks. So she's going to stay with them. And it's just awesome that they took her character, that they took her character in that direction and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, just that haircut though, I cannot
no,
understand that haircut.
no, I can't deal with the haircut because I don't know, like, what did they do that? Because it's like the military haircut, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't look good on her. I mean, not every person in the CRM has that haircut, so it's not for that reason. So I don't know why else they do it.
Exactly. And what did you think of? I thought this was Percy, but it was Barca at the beginning of the episode that he was being experimented on. He begged Lila. He told her about how, if we do this, if we build a future on blood and death, that's just all the future is going to be. You know what I mean? And obviously, we know that Elizabeth sent him to the quote unquote health and welfare complex, but we all know that's a torture and brainwashing facility. For the soldiers who question the superiors that, like, hey, we did not do a good thing here. We committed murder, genocide, and I don't know if Rick was ever sent there. We're not sure, but Elizabeth did mention that, how she had to go to that area because there was some trouble happening, and some people think that Rick is building resistance. So
That could definitely be the case because, like I said, not seeing the last two episodes, did Elizabeth ever or has anything really been explained as to what she left for besides the fact that something happened? Like, did they ever go into detail about what that was at all, or?
I think she said like there's some trouble brewing in the health and welfare complex. I'm needed there, and then like we have Jadis coming in. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
That makes sense.
So
Yeah, now not for us to not have that actual information is definitely a little bit fishy. Yeah, I feel like something Rick related definitely has to be going on there. And to answer Lizard here in the comments, that Jadis was clear that threatening family is the best way to control someone. Yeah, they've definitely had a bunch of lines in the show that are like you said, pretty meta. Like so, she said little tiny things so far that have kind of related to stuff that might actually be a big deal. Like the whole boots thing that she was talking about with Silas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like just random stuff's just come up that might actually end up being pretty important and might explain some stuff that we've had questions about.
oh yeah, like how Michonne found Rick's boots in that boat. The only thing is though that doesn't make sense. I don't think that's really a connection 100% um because it's kind of confusing because when Rick was taken on the helicopter, um there's no helicopter pad on that boat. You know what I mean? He was injured. He would have needed to be operated on. Um by doctors, and like he would have needed to be taken care of in a hospital, and they would have to take his boots off because his boots are contaminated. They have to sterilize everything, do the surgery. You know what I mean?
That's
I
true.
don't see for Silas. I see why they took his boots, but for Rick, I feel like it's a different situation. Why they took his boots? You know what I mean?
Or like Justin Thomas says here in the chat, maybe Jadis just likes feet. That's always a possibility as well.
Oh, that's funny. Jadis is. I love that line in the episode where Silas is like, "Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of like a junkyard," and she's like, "You say that like it's a bad thing," and it's like, "It is, Jadis.
It is a
Go on."
bad thing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and then Lizard said, but once he wakes up, he can't run. So that is true. But how did he get on the boat when he was being operated on? I mean, maybe where the boat was at this island, right? Wasn't it some type of base? Maybe he was operated on at that base because it's somewhat close to Alexandria. I mean, I don't know if we ever saw an actual helicopter pad at that base, but maybe he was landed there, and somehow they put him on the boat to work on him or something like that.
I mean, maybe, but there's no. I don't know. There's nowhere to land a helicopter on that boat. I don't think. It was kind of small. You know what I mean? Um, like did it have supplies prior? Did it have doctors prior? You know what I mean? To did it already have doctors there when the helicopter landed? Because I think there was just a pilot, Jadis, and Rick in the helicopter. So I'm like, okay, he would have needed doctors fast. And as far as Rick not being able to run, like, if Rick had surgery, there's no way he would run. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I don't think the whole boots thing makes sense. Cause like even if he woke up, there's no way he would be able to run after what he went through.
Yeah, no, that's true. Um, that it'll be interesting to see how they answer that whenever the time comes. At least so we can finally tie all that stuff together and it'll all make sense at the end. Um, it just sucks that we have to wait this long to get any actual information like that. We got that episode. What was it? About almost 2 years ago now. We saw that episode. So, and here we are.
I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I always liked the idea of Rick waking up in the CRM hospital, like in Philadelphia, and he just like there. It's just he's hearing things, and like the hospital is clean, like the room is clean. There's fresh flowers on his bedside. He sees the clock ticking on the wall, like, and Rick is just like weirded out. You know what I mean? Like it's like Days Gone By all over again, except zombie apocalypse anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's not the world he's waking up to now. It's he's waking up in the CRM, you know what I mean?
To like more of a normal life, like to actual like a society going on. So instead of waking up to complete silence, no power, and he's all alone, he's waking up with doctors around him. And it'd be funny if there was flowers next to him that kind of looked like the ones that Shane left him, and he's like, hold on a second here, and he starts kind of freaking out thinking that he's been like dreaming this whole thing, but then he's like, wait, no, I was transported here. But
Hmm. Exactly. I just love that idea.
and then Just Nay's Way, hopefully I pronounced that right in the comments. He or she said, maybe they was on Virgil's Island and operated on Rick, who was the group of people that kept coming and tried to take over.
But yeah, like the one that Virgil mentioned, like um, I don't know, like were the CRM on that island, or like was Virgil and his people always on that island?
Right. We never
I
really
don't know.
got a whole. I mean, unless we go back and watch the episode and they like had like one comment that talked about it. I don't really remember them actually going into detail about what that island was fully for beforehand, or how long Virgil was even there. So
Exactly. Um, uh, do you think that the characters in World Beyond will meet, like, will be in the movies and meet Rick? Like, I'm not saying all the characters right now. I think some were gonna die, but I will say that, like, do you think like they are gonna do this whole Avengers Endgame thing where all like multiple Walking Dead characters from every show just meet up at some point to help take down the CRM, kind of like Avengers style?
I think that's possible for, I guess you call it the end game, like Avengers Endgame. I don't know if that would be a first movie type of thing or maybe a second movie thing. I guess it really all depends what happens with the first movie and how well it does in theaters and, how well the ratings are for it and how much money it makes and stuff. So I feel like if everything goes well, they'll have a second movie where they kind of expand further on the whole battle and all that actually happens and you see how these characters come back. Or if the movie doesn't do so well, maybe they'll revert it back to more of a TV movie for the second movie and it'll only be on AMC and we can finally see how it all ends off in that way because they're not going to leave us. Honestly, I don't know for sure, but I don't think they'd leave us hanging for that big type of story arc. And I feel like that's why the first movie is going to have a type of ending that isn't fully satisfactory. Like it's going to end off in a pretty decent way, but it's still going to be able to expand and create like more of a story after that as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The first Rick movie is just gonna be them showing what he's been doing for 6 years, why he couldn't come back, and everything about the CRM. But the second one definitely needs to be like, Michonne, and I would say the feared characters and World Beyond characters maybe kind of meeting each other, building alliances, and then I would say the third Rick movie is going to be like Daryl, Carol, and all the rest meeting those characters, and they go to the CRM to get Rick back once and for all, and to kind of stop the CRM's reign of terror. And I would definitely say that's most likely going to happen. And um, like I would just yeah, because if Daryl found out that like yeah these people have had Rick all this time and they never let him leave, oh my goodness, dude, like let's think about this. If Iris can kill a CRM soldier, like how many do you think Daryl can take? You know what I mean? After they kidnapped Rick and for years, you know what I mean?
Dude, he'd have like 10 throwing knives in his hand and he'd just be whipping them at all of the soldiers. He'd take down an entire squad in like a second.
Oh my goodness,
That's
that would be amazing.
that's kind of what irritated me about Iris being able to take down that CRM soldier is doesn't make them seem very threatening after that. I mean, at least he was just unless maybe he was just kind of like, you know, just came out of like basic training in the military or something. But like, I feel like these characters or this whole military should be more of like a serious, like, like force. Like you shouldn't be able to touch them that easily. And I don't know, Iris just got away with it like it was nothing. So I don't know. Or, like Just Nay's Way here says, Iris had beginner's luck. So, that's possible too.
Yeah, Iris is really lucky as far as in that situation, but guess yeah, for the CRM soldiers, I think that like the CRM soldiers, they look cool, they have really cool guns, but as far as like fighting, we pretty they kind of like implied that like the CRM don't do a lot of fighting because like when they took out Omaha and Campus Colony, they literally used the gas. You know what I mean? They like so the CRM are not really trained. It's weird, but they're not trained to fight actual people. You know what I mean? Because like they used the gas, they were relied on that.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point. So maybe they're more of a just Walker extermination force, I guess you could call it, more than like taking down people, like Iris sneaking up on him and stuff like that. He's never really had that happen to him unless it was a zombie. So yeah, that's true. Um, Lizard says, I hope the placement of Morgan on Fear the Walking Dead means that their characters on that show will be siding with Rick because Alicia and her people will. Yeah, no, it's definitely a fact. I don't know if that was why he was based on Fear the Walking Dead, but the fact that he's on there it makes it pretty clear that no, all those characters are going to side with Rick in this whole war. Um, and you also said the CRM soldiers are like stormtroopers. Seems like they have a million unskilled workers. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, it seems like in The Walking Dead, the larger a group is, the more their soldiers are like flies, like the Saviors were, the Whisperers, the CRM soldiers. Like they have quantity, not quality. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally true. Totally true.
Yeah, I would love, my goodness, I would love Daryl to meet the Fear characters, like, Alicia. That would be amazing. And um, just getting, like, because we know those characters, but they never met each other. So getting to see this in the movies, like all these characters meeting each other, and the reunions, like, my goodness, like I will love those scenes.
Yeah, no, it'll be awesome to see all these characters finally interact. That was what was cool originally about seeing Morgan go over to Fear the Walking Dead. When they actually had a main cast that wasn't Morgan. um, at least seeing him interact with Alicia and her whole group on there was pretty awesome. And so yeah, it'll be cool to see people like Daryl, Carol, and all them react to those type of people and see, how all their personalities kind of like blend together, I guess you could say.
Totally, I totally agree. Um, and just want to throw this one thing out there. In the movies, I want to, they have to do a scene where Daryl has a rocket launcher and he blows up a CRM helicopter.
Oh,
Like,
they're gonna do it.
oh my goodness, that would be amazing.
I mean, if he blew up some saviors on motorcycles, he's gonna blow up some CRM helicopters. You already know.
Oh man, that'd be so awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
Just Nays Way says fear characters are kind of annoying, especially to Daryl, Dog, and Kooky Carol.
Um, yeah, like okay, like Alicia is, I will always love Alicia pretty much. It's just that they're underusing her.
Yeah,
And Dwight is pretty good. Sherry's not bad. She's okay. Daniel has been seriously underused. But the other characters, like, okay, like Strand, Wendell, Sarah, Luciana, Charlie, I just cannot stand them.
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Um, yeah, no, I think Morgan and Alicia and I would say Dwight probably carry the show. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but I think Daryl should get a mohawk and a ponytail. Swervy Swervy
Oh,
says.
Daryl with a different hairdo? I don't see it. Oh my goodness.
No, his hair's just been grown out for like 6 years now. Like it hasn't changed. Which honestly, I wish they cut his hair back down at one point and then grew it back out again. But they just kind of kept trimming it to the same length it's always been at. So, and the lizard also says, "I miss the old Daniel. I want to see him torturing some people again." Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah. I mean, same. I mean, there's a limit, obviously, but like, I don't like how Morgan hijacked Fear and made it Morgan and Friends, or everyone's a pacifist now. It's like, are you serious? Daniel has killed 100 people, and he's a pacifist? No. Like, come on, that's not believable.
That's yeah, no, totally true. I'm just kind of going through Twitter here to see if there's any new info coming out because sometimes it'll do that pretty randomly. So
Oh, just had a small idea. What if the characters, what if they want to get into the CRM, like infiltrated? What if the characters, um, you know, steal some CRM uniforms and either take a helicopter or one of the jeeps to get inside? Like imagine Michonne, Daryl, just in CRM armor. They cover their heads with the helmets, and like I don't know. You think that would be a cool scene to do in the movies, just
hell
to get
yeah,
inside?
no, that'd be an awesome scene. I feel like they got to do stuff like that. You know, that would be awesome to see people like Daryl infiltrating and just getting in there and starting to take over and kill some of those CRM soldiers for sure. And oh man, imagine they're like coordinating the whole thing, and like Rick's like leading the whole charge. He's like, all right, I need Daryl here, I need Carol here, and Michonne there, and like, you know, we're gonna take down this whole, I don't know, like what if it's like a CRM base or something like that. It'd just be awesome to see all these characters finally back together, and yeah, and I can't wait for that.
Oh, the same. And it's not about just getting Rick back and leaving. Like that might be a thing they try to do in the movie. Like let's get Rick and leave. But Rick might say like, listen, guys, we can't leave. Like not 100%. Like we have to free this place. We have to. They're gonna come after us. You know what I mean? And you like, you know what I mean? They if they're gonna take down the CRM, they gotta do a lot. Like I'm talking about, they have to tell the civilian government. They have to tell the people. You know what I mean? They have to show proof that the CRM has committed genocide outside their walls and has been lying to them for like a decade. You know what I mean? Just they have to stop. You know, they got to get someone to go after Beale. Like they need to get every angle possible to win this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not just because because like it's not just like, oh, let's just take care of the bad guys and that's it. Like they have to show the people that like, hey, listen, this is what they've been doing. So yeah.
No, totally true. I feel like that's a whole like cool political aspect they could have, is like people might call them conspiracy theorists and stuff like that for, you know, assuming that the CRM is doing all this stuff out there. And unless they have legit proof that all that stuff is going on, there's going to be a lot of skeptics out there. And hopefully they can, you know, end up convincing at least most of the population that the CRM are bad people and they're doing bad things. But I feel like some, or at least, you know, maybe 30-40% of the population still might side with the CRM. So that, at least that does give a bit more troops and stuff like that to like the Commonwealth and that whole side of things, so they have more people to work with. But the CRM, I feel like, will still have a pretty solid amount of people to work with in terms of who's going to stick with them, you know, at the end of the day. And for the next stream, I definitely need to find a way to get the chat on screen here, so you guys can actually see everything on the screen. I don't exactly know what to use for that, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But yeah.
Can you? Oh, I thought there was like a share screen option on Discord or something like. Which? Oh, right, this chat. Sorry.
Yeah. I was talking about the one for the stream. Oh yeah, and do you have a camera?
Do I have a camera?
Yeah, like a face cam or anything.
I do for Discord, but I'm not sure how to work it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could like on Discord I can turn on camera. You know what I mean? Like on the left, on the bottom left.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I'm not sure if how that would work.
Yeah, we'll just save it for the next stream. I'd say next time we can get it set up to where it's both of us on here instead of just me when we're talking and stuff like that. So I don't know what the app is called, or we could just use Discord as like the main screen for the next stream. But yeah, we've already been at this for almost an hour and 10 minutes now, and I appreciate everybody who's been watching this whole time. It's been great to do a bit of a Walking Dead stream here and just talk about everything. I don't know how much. I would say, yeah, we could keep going definitely for a bit longer. I mean, I'm up to do at least, I'll stay up here all night talking about this. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm not sure what time zone you're in, but for me, it's only 10:30. So,
Oh, same.
awesome.
Sweet. You can read the chat.
Yeah, I was actually just about to point out. Someone said, do you think that Rick is going to get his murder jacket back?
Great question. Well, you want to go first? Actually, it's your stream.
Oh yeah, no. I think maybe it's possible. I think it'd be iconic because I at least want to see him in that murder jacket in like the promotional art for like the movie, you know, because everybody knows him in that. So it'd just be awesome to see it back, and like he's just has this psycho hairdo again, like, you know, he's going full crazy Rick again. I feel like it would be awesome to see that because like he was so like chill out. He was like pretty chilled out and like the first part of season 9. Like, he'd finally relaxed a little bit, especially after losing Carl, and he just had a direct vision for what he wanted. So then he got ripped from that. So what did that do to him? Did it change him a lot? And that's kind of what I went into in my whole Rick Changed video that I put up, which, by the way, has over 16,000 views now, which is absolutely amazing. So if any of you have seen that, thank you so much for watching it. But yeah, just seeing how Rick has changed in general as a person, and what his, if any of his morals have changed from being at the CRM for so long. It's all really good questions.
So the murder jacket. I just want to share my thoughts. I always like, I know it's Rick's, but I always like the idea of the final season of The Walking Dead. Like I feel like it would have been cool if Daryl got a haircut to his like season 1 look, and he kind of like decided to finally remove the vest and put on the murder jacket to kind of like honor Rick, you know what I mean, or something like that. I don't know. I just loved that idea, Daryl changing his look, but also the murder jacket gets brought back, and also, although it'd be cool if Rick had it back, I feel like I love the idea of Rick when he's fighting the CRM. I feel like it would be cool to have Rick without his helmet and but he's wearing the uniform. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just like that idea that like it's clear that he's defecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree. Hang on 1 second. So one thing I haven't, sorry, switching topics here a little bit. One thing I haven't seen a lot of this season is Fear the Walking Dead. I watched like the first 2 episodes, I think, and after that, I haven't gotten back to it. So what are you thinking of that so far?
For Fear the Walking Dead, wow. Fear the Walking Dead season 7. Oh boy, it's tough. It's honestly, it is worse than season 7 of the main show. Like the premiere was pretty. It was okay. Pretty good, I would say. But episode 2 was just absolute. It was just mediocre. I mean, somehow Morgan is able to build the whole Mad Max car. You know what I mean? And the baby crying the whole episode. The characters getting tons of radiation, but they never die. Grace was also not good in the episode too. I'm just like, like Grace, why are you being like this? You know what I mean? You're not being. I get that you're dealing with a lot right now, but if you choose to die, you're gonna leave Morgan and the baby by themselves. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of selfish. Um, and the other episodes, like the Dwight and Sherry one, that one needed work. Like, okay, yeah, there was a Dwight and Sherry one, not great. There was a Sarah episode too, and it was pretty bad. Uh, the new oh yeah, in episode 2, you saw the new character, right? Um, his name's Josiah.
I did, yes.
Uh, yeah, Emil's twin brother.
Yep.
I oh my goodness. Like I still don't really understand why they did that. It just kind of feels like it came out of nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? He just finds his brother's head in a box in a zombie apocalypse and in a nuclear fallout radiation, place. I'm just like,
Yeah.
everything is so contrived.
Very contrived. That's a very good word to describe it. And Justin here in the comments was saying that the radiation logic makes no sense whatsoever. And that's one thing I did notice. And, it just stinks that they didn't put a little bit more work into that. If they were going to do that whole radiation storyline, you'd think that they'd want to take it a bit more seriously. And Lizard also said that Fear has been a lot of individual episodes for, like, the different sets of people, which, I mean, now it's just finally starting to get good, is what he said. Or she said. I need to stop saying he or she and just say they. But, yeah, no, that's kind of what always irritated me about episodes from like season 7 of The Walking Dead, is that they'd always do those like individual storylines. And I don't know, it just doesn't really work for me. I loved when everybody finally got together, in the season finale or the mid-season finale. And yeah, so, and I apologize, so you're a she.
Yeah, Fear did the bot like it did the bottle episodes in season 6 too, but like the writing was at least decent in the first half of season 6, so it's like okay, it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. But the writing in season 7 is those. It's just it's very um it's very contrived because you have like literally they're doing a Sarah episode before um, a Luciana episode, and it just doesn't really make much sense. And um, I really just don't understand why they can't just film these in a different. Why can't they just put the scenes in a different order? Like the only character that's in, I would say, every episode is like Morgan, just a little bit because he's the main character.
Yep.
But but now they have like they're starting to build up in the mid-season finale like all the characters reuniting again. But I'm just worried that they're gonna have the characters split up again once again because this is Fear. Like every half season, every season they split up the characters. Um, you know what I mean? Like I just don't like that.
Yeah, no, I don't really like that a lot either. And season 6 made things work a bit better for sure. That's really what brought me back into Fear. I was like a Fear hater before season 6 came about. And then I watched the whole thing, and I was telling everybody it's a really good season. Everyone should go watch it. And then I don't know, just season 7, it just wasn't that interesting to me in the first couple episodes. I got to give the rest of them a chance. And it hasn't been that I'm not interested. I've just been a bit busy, so I haven't gotten around to watching them. But yeah, so I can't fully agree or disagree with you because of that. So we're gonna go with your opinion on that one.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I will say that World Beyond season 2 has definitely been better than Fear season 7, like without a doubt. It's
Yeah,
new, refreshing. And one of the things that people hate in season 7 is oh yeah, yeah, right here. Lizard says that with the horses, um, the characters take off their masks a lot, but the animals are just fine. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, the whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I wish they put a bit more work into that. And I understand the constraints behind the budget for a small show like Fear, but I don't know. If they had constraints of that nature, then I feel like they could have had the radiation and that whole storyline for maybe like 2 episodes, and then they move out of that area and they don't have to deal with it anymore, so that we don't have to have any of these weird issues and all this logic that we're pointing out here.
Yeah. One thing I don't understand is, with the whole Strand Tower thing. Um, I don't understand how Strand managed to build basically a commonwealth, like 200 people. Like they said, I think they said the tower has 200 people inside of it that he lives in. And I'm just like, how did he do that in 2 months? Like, there was just him and Howard in the finale of season 6. And then all of a sudden, we have a very small time skip, just 2 months. And Strand has literally, he literally built another sanctuary, all this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like, it's contrived because we don't see the work. We don't see how it happened. Strand's just like, yep, I did all this myself. Like, I'm amazing. I'm just like, oh, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is pretty ridiculous. And I can't stand when shows and movies will just make things that contrived. And especially when they just tell us things have happened and not actually show us things. Like you said, suddenly Strand had all this stuff and all these people. And I just wish we got to see a bit more of that happening, or at least had a more logical time skip to, a little bit maybe more than 2 months, and just saw, I don't know. It just like you said, doesn't make too much sense, and it just stinks that some of our content nowadays has to do a little bit more telling than showing. They don't actually. I feel like a lot of storylines nowadays don't actually have the effort put in to show like how a certain character has been built up and how they learned, what they've, you know, all these like skills that they've gotten over time. And I don't know if anyone's seen the first episode or 2 of Hawkeye yet, but that's kind of an issue I have with the new Kate Bishop character. Is we got her as a little kid, she saw Hawkeye, and sorry for spoilers or anybody like that, I definitely apologize. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but we just don't really see her actually grow and learn the skills that she's learned over time. So, that's just an example. But yeah.
Oh, are you saying that she just is naturally amazing with the bow? Like
Not
no
naturally.
trick.
Like they say that she learned it over the last, few years since she was a kid, or maybe like I think it was like 10 years. But they don't actually show her training or anything like that. She's just, good in the current timeline.
I see. Um, did someone ask what would if Dwight and Sherry see Negan again? I feel like someone asked that question earlier.
I didn't actually see it. Let me. How will Dwight and Sherry react to seeing Negan again? Someone asked.
I would say they would punch him in the face. Um,
No, that's for sure.
yeah. Um, the thing is though, like obviously what Negan did is bad, but once again, when I think about how they're the ones who actually went back to him, like you know what I mean, after they robbed Daryl, they literally begged on their knees like cowards. I'm sorry, just I kind of don't really justify, you know what I mean, why they hate him so much. You know what I mean? Like obviously, yeah, Negan burnt Dwight's face and all that, but it's like they literally could have avoided that fate if they just made different choices.
Yeah, I don't know. Their whole storyline on the actual Walking Dead show wasn't explored enough to make their whole reaction now justifiable in fear. Obviously, you saw that Negan was kind of treating Sherry like one of his wives, if you know what I'm talking about. He would use her, and he would show that to Dwight and piss him off. And I guess we got to see some of that stuff, but I feel like, yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. It's a little bit too much, I feel like.
Although, like, oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, you can go.
I was just gonna say, like, um, characters like Dwight, um, you know, they definitely. I don't see Dwight getting his comic ending. Like, I see him literally making it to the end game of the franchise, like let's say the Rick movies or something like that. Because I feel like at some point we have to see him and Negan see each other face to face again. I'm not sure how that's gonna work with the whole Negan show they're probably gonna do, but I feel like seeing these characters come together against the CRM, and you know what I mean, like to fight for their future, their right to live, and you just have that thing in the comic where you have Dwight and Negan. Like instead of the Whisperers, you have Dwight and Negan working with each other against the CRM, and then Dwight is just like, I hate this, I hate you, but unfortunately, we need all the help we can get. You know what I mean? And you just have cool scenes where Negan maybe still calls him Dwighty Boy or something like that.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. That would be pretty funny. Um, yeah, no, I actually one of my first videos I ever made on this channel was about the possibility of a Negan spinoff, and I do think that's a pretty cool idea. But at the same time, I'm not so sure. I feel like the whole storyline is kind of going to spread itself a bit thin. I feel like if all these spin-offs keep happening, we get like a Negan spin-off. And then, they still have to explain Michonne's storyline. So are they going to do a little bit of a show for her or something like that? I feel like there's just too much going on. And I feel like they're not going to get a lot of viewers, watching all these different spin-offs like that. Maybe that's just me. But I feel like this AMC doesn't have the budget to be making all those different shows. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
oh no, man, I think you're totally right. We clearly see in the Walking Dead main show they don't have the budget anymore. Fear is struggling with the budget. Well, Beyond's doing pretty good with the budget. It's ending in season 2, but yeah, there's just too many shows. Like they want to do that Dead in the Water spinoff. They want to do Tales of the Walking Dead, the Daryl Carroll show, the Negan spinoff, the comedy show, I think, or unless that is the Negan spinoff. And I'm just thinking, like, guys, that's too many shows. I feel like they're only going to get a season max. You know what I mean?
What's the whole comedy show that you heard about? I didn't hear about that.
I um I don't know. Didn't Scott Gimple say he was going to do a comedy spinoff?
He might have. I actually had no idea. That's pretty interesting. That's wow. I'm surprised. Yeah, no, but in general, I totally agree with the fact that there's so many different spin-offs coming out. And wait, what was the other one that you said? Was it Dead in the Water?
Well, that's not a spinoff. It's just going to be with Riley. It's just going to be a webisode.
Oh, Yeah, no, there's just definitely a lot going on, which is good. I like that the Walking Dead is expanding and it's going to keep going, but I feel like having all of these different shows for people to watch, it's going to first of all get confusing for, just regular basic viewers who aren't crazy about The Walking Dead, and it's just going to be a lot. So, I did actually hear recently, which Lizard reminded me here in the comments, AMC Plus is bringing in a lot of money now to have early access, so they're getting money, but they may have spread themselves too thin. And I did actually recently hear that a lot of the spinoffs are going to be AMC Plus exclusives, so they're not even going to be aired on live TV anymore, and they're only going to be for the streaming app. And if that's the case, then they need to get their crap together when it comes to AMC Plus, because there's like 3 different ways to use that right now. There's through like Apple TV, apparently the AMC app, which doesn't work for me anymore for some reason, and then I believe you can watch it on Amazon Prime as well. I think they need to actually get it together into its own legit application, like, the AMC app again or something like that, because, man, it's not very easy to watch some of these episodes sometimes, and they don't even come out on time. You have to wait 3 or 4 hours until they actually pop up on the app. And a few weeks ago, I couldn't even watch one of the episodes of World Beyond because it literally would not come on for me that day. And I even checked on like the next day on the Monday, and it was just not on there anymore. So if that's the case, they need to definitely get that working a bit better.
Yeah. Wanna catch up in the chat? Looks like you have a bunch of comments. I don't know if they're questions or.
Yeah, I've been reading throughout. If they defeat the CRM, then Negan can have a community of his own. That's possible for sure. And AMC Plus is also doing their own movies, not related to The Walking Dead at all. They really want to have their own platform, and that's good. I hope that actually works out for them. I just hope that the platform in general gets a bit more easy in terms of, its use. Because, you have things like Netflix and Hulu out there where it's so easy to use those apps, but then, AMC Plus isn't exactly on the same par.
Yeah. I'm on the wiki. I just looked it up. There is the Carol Daryl spinoff, the Untitled Villain spinoff, and the Untitled Comedy spinoff.
Wow. That's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's too many if you ask me. I don't know how this is gonna work out. It's
No.
like, yeah, I really don't. I'm just worried they're biting off more than they could chew. Like, Carol Daryl show should not last long. It should help lead into the movies or something like that. The villain spinoff, it's gotta be, it's gotta be it's gotta be Negan Lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that they'd actually get people to watch is if it's Negan, because he's like one of the main, like, best loved characters on the show right now. So
Yeah. And for the comedy, straight Walking Dead comedy, spinoff, I have no idea. So the fact that it's probably not going to be Negan, I have no idea. Imagine a character just breaks the fourth wall every episode or something like that, where he says like, "Wow, you guys see that bad CGI in the background? Come on, AMC." I
that
mean, like, imagine that's in the episode.
it's just them making fun of themselves. That actually, I would like that. That'd be good. Because besides that, I don't know. A comedic Walking Dead show does not sound very interesting to me. That's just me. I watch The Walking Dead for the serious zombie drama, not for comedy. But hey, we'll see. Got to give everything a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that's true, but I just don't see why they're doing all these spin-offs when around this time they should be prioritizing the movies. So like what if AMC has a problem with like, oh, we're doing 4 Walking Dead shows right now, Fear, Daryl Carroll, the spin-off, the comedy show, Tales, like, and then they're also trying to do the first or second movie. Imagine they say like, well, we have too much going on right now. Like, well, you guys should not have done so many spin-offs.
Yeah, I'd rather see one of those spin-offs canceled mid-season than, not have the Rick movies happen earlier. I want to see those as early as possible. So hopefully they still put, all of their time and energy into that. And, I mean, obviously they're probably all going to have separate teams working on all these different things, but it's, it's still a little bit, it's still a lot. So, yeah.
Mhm.
What was I gonna say? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought again. But I guess I'll read some comments. Why did The Walking Dead forget about the webisodes? Yov York was asking.
I think the show just maybe just doesn't have the budget for like small webisodes that don't really matter. Um, I don't know. Like I would say that's probably why they stopped doing them. I think Fear did too. The last one was like season three for
Yeah,
season three.
one that I liked a lot was the Red Machete.
Yeah, we still don't know what happened to the Red Machete.
No, we there was all these theories before season 9 that Alpha, or I believe, or Beta, or one of the characters on there was going to end up having the Red Machete, because you see somebody like pick it up at the end of the webisode, and then we never figured out who it was. So that stinks.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
Um, oh no, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, just a small idea. I don't know why, but I feel like the CRM should not be the only threat in the movies. To remind us, this is The Walking Dead. Imagine if, I'm just throwing this out there, but imagine if, in the CRM, in the final Rick movie, we get this massive, like 1 million zombie herd that just rolls through the city, and you have the group who just have to like team up with everyone, even the CRM soldiers who's left, the citizens, just to fight back all these zombies. Because like, imagine how cool that would look. A whole city, zombies filling the streets, and we have all the characters from Fear, World Beyond, the main show, just all killing zombies. It's like a No Way Out times 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. I mean, imagine they're having this huge conflict, and then they get attacked by this gigantic horde, and they realize, wow, our differences really don't matter at the end of the day when it comes to having to survive against this, this threat that's been out there, and it's always going to be out there, and they all have to team up together and take out an entire gigantic horde like that. That'd be sick. Um, Lizard says, with all the spin-offs, don't we see the differences with the crew? Like Greg Nicotero can't be on every set. The crew of makeup and effects is not as good. Fear the Walking Dead proves this a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. You can't stretch Greg Nicotero out too much. You know, he's only one guy.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty damn good for one guy for all these years. I gotta give him props.
Yeah, but it's gotta be tiring.
Oh yeah,
You can't. They can't. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's been teaching some people, but
that's always
uh,
possible. He might have like a Nicotero team out there now and stuff.
yeah, definitely. Um,
Do you think he's gonna be creatively involved with the movies? I mean, I think it's a pretty easy answer.
oh, I hope so. I definitely think he will be. If they have to like, take some things from the spin-offs to, to put Greg Nicotero, like, I'm just saying he should like. If I was AMC, I'd be like your priority is the movies, and then if you have time for the other things, that's fine. You know what I mean? Because the zombies need to look so good in the movies. Because I mean, this is gonna be a movie, and not just that, but like I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like the movies should be um, the last thing in Walking Dead continuity wise, like timeline wise, because like right now the characters in the main show are like 11 years in the apocalypse, but everything else, like I guess what I'm trying to say is that like, do you think that all the spin-offs should take place before the final Rick movie, or do you think the spin-offs will take place after the final Rick movie? Because you know what I mean? Because like I thought the final movie is the end game.
It all depends on what comes first. If they still continue making spin-offs after the Rick movie, then I feel like it would take place afterwards. But I feel like that's when they're kind of going to end it all off. And maybe 10 years from now they'll relaunch like a Walking Dead Next Generation type of thing. And after that final movie, they'll just, settle down for a while and, just call it on the whole thing, call it a day. And I think that would be a good idea, because if you keep it going on too long, then it's going to end up just getting really bland after a while, and they're going to end up running out of viewers, because after a while, you're only going to have the OG, like legit like Walking Dead fans on there watching that. You're not going to have, I guess you call them like the normies watching, like the regular viewer who just checks in to see what it's about. Because
Yeah.
Walking Dead, unfortunately, already has that rep right now. It's, you see comments on every video, oh, is this show still going on? I see them all over Facebook, and it's kind of irritating, but like people just love to, rag on the show when most of them don't even know that it's actually on its final season. So,
Exactly. Um, yeah, that kind of annoys me too. It's like, what I mean? They're like, oh, it's still on, but it's like, well, one, you're here, so,
you
it's
cared enough to
kind of,
comment.
but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the movies. I just like the idea of them doing the comic ending in the final Rick movie. Like, imagine that they defeat the CRM and all of the zombie herd. Like, imagine that. Imagine everyone just hails Rick as a hero. You know what I mean? Not giving up on the city, and you know what I mean. Philadelphia. You know what I mean? And they kind of like support him as a new leader. You know what I mean? And we can get that comic ending, except this time, like maybe even Rick gets a statue. You know what I mean? In the city, but like unlike the comic where he's dead, in the show, like it ends with the series ends with him being still alive.
Yeah, I hope it does end that way. I would hate to see him die at the end of all this, especially after waiting this long to even see him again. Um, Zach Dixon asks, do you think the Commonwealth will be in the movies? And we did discuss that a little bit earlier on the stream. I think it's definitely possible for sure. I think they could be a big part of maybe towards like the second and third movie of like the whole battle that's going to happen between Rick's whole side of the equation and the CRM. And then Yev York said, I would love to see a what if TV show from The Walking Dead, like how Marvel is doing. And I don't know if you've heard about Tales of the Walking Dead yet, but that's kind of what it's going to be about. They were saying that there could be stuff like on that show that are like a what if situation of things that may have happened in a different scenario. Like what if Shane was still alive or something like that. So yeah, definitely look out for that. It's coming out next summer, and I think, did they confirm what the first episode's going to be about yet?
I heard they're gonna do Beta and Governor. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
a lot of them are just going to kind of be like origin stories. I feel like they'll have like a big beta episode seeing like how he became who he was in the show, and then the governor one we could see him, possibly as he was establishing Woodbury for the first time with his original small crew or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna do that because they'll have to get Michael Rooker back, um, all those actors from before. I wonder, like, is it gonna be animated? Um,
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? We don't know anything like that because, like, live action is it's gonna be a lot harder than just animating it.
Yeah, that's true. Personally, I hope it is live action, but there are always limitations. Maybe they can't get somebody like Michael Rooker back, and they end up having to do just an animation with maybe somebody else voicing the character.
Yeah, that'll be tough. Um, the thing is, we don't know if it's gonna be a what if, like Marvel does, but or if it's gonna be like canon. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna say because I feel like we already saw Beta's backstory. Like because he's with Alpha and Lydia, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
fairly early in the apocalypse or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's how he became Beta. Because of Alpha. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go.
yeah. I see. I don't actually remember what I heard for sure. If because I think they said it was going to be like a mix of canon stories and what if stories, but that might have just been something I heard as a rumor. I don't know if that's actually legit or not. So
Hopefully they pick a lane because
I hope
doing
so.
canon stories and what ifs, that's gonna confuse so many people.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. Yev York also said, after seeing John Berthal's outstanding performance as the Punisher, I wanted to see more of him in The Walking Dead. Yeah, me too. After watching The Punisher and Daredevil Season 2, oh man, I wanted to see him back so bad. It made me go back and rewatch Shane's episodes on The Walking Dead. It was pretty awesome. He's one of my favorite actors for sure, and that just reminds me of how great Daredevil was as a show. If any of you have not seen Daredevil, go watch it. It's one of the best shows that have ever existed. It's on Netflix, so yeah, man. hopefully he's back in Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know if anyone knows, but there's rumors that he might be back. So Daredevil, that is, not Shane or the Punisher, but yeah, Daredevil might be back.
Oh wow, that my mind's just blown. Like I have no idea how that would even happen. um, I mean, because No Way Home, that's Marvel. That's um, if he's, I don't know. Like my mind's just blown.
Wait, about which part? About Daredevil coming back?
Yeah, like how could Daredevil come back? He's not in the MCU.
They didn't fully confirm whether or not he was. Because like when the first season was out, there were little references to like the Battle of New York and the Avengers and stuff like that. So they never. But then Kevin Feige kind of said that it wasn't canon, mostly because they didn't have any creative control over the Netflix shows. But I feel like they're gonna bring the character back and just reintroduce him, for a little bit in No Way Home as like the lawyer, and then we're gonna eventually get a spin-off show or something like that where it kind of reintroduces him to the MCU and makes it so you don't have to go back and watch the Netflix show if you don't want to, because I feel like Marvel's not going to want to promote a Netflix show over their own stuff. So they're going to want to recreate their own material, or at least just kind of reimagine the character a little bit.
Yeah. Hey man, would it be okay if I stepped out for a little bit? If I muted my mic and just came back in a little bit. There's just something I need to do real quick.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm actually thinking of ending off the podcast a bit more right now. So yeah, so everyone who's been watching, I appreciate it so far. I'll be back with another podcast pretty soon. Thank you to everyone who's commented and contributed to the conversation. And thank you as well, Brian, for being a part of this as well, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for this. This was amazing. Your setup is amazing, and you know a lot about The Walking Dead. That's very cool because there's all these universes, and some people, like some YouTubers, might get them jumbled up, or they might they might throw crazy theories out there and believe that's 100% true. Like, people did that in the past with the whole Dwayne being alive thing. It's just things where it's like use evidence and most likely what they're probably going to do, to guess, and that makes sense. So thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate being a part of it. Again, thank you guys all so much. I want to be doing a bit more of this type of stuff in the future. I want to stream some different types of zombie games and stuff like State of Decay pretty soon. If you haven't seen any of that, go look it up. It's a pretty awesome game. And until then, guys, I thank you all so much for watching the stream. I'll be back with some more content pretty soon. And until then, take care.